Hi everyone, Petrik here. So it's been 2 weeks since I posted a video again, and it has been a month since I posted my last SFF Spotlight video. And I don't know, lately I've been thinking about moving SFF Spotlight to my Book Talk account, but I'm not sure whether I will do that yet. But let me know what you think about it. I said since the beginning of SFF Spotlight, if there are enough interest in this series of videos, I will keep posting on my YouTube channel, because if some of you don't know about this, SFF Spotlight is the hardest and the most difficult series of videos to keep up on my channel, because it's a lot of editing and also a lot of keeping up with news and all that. But again, let me know what you think. This is episode number 103. And we have about 15 topics to cover today. And yeah, this is a series of videos where I talk about new book news, new cover reveal, new special edition, and also new Kickstarter campaign in the adult science fiction and fantasy genre. And I will start this video by talking about the newest Backerkit campaign from Brandon Sanderson. So this is about the Hoid Storybook collection, 4 of them, and also the newest secret project novel. Well, it's no longer a secret. We know Brandon Sanderson will always release a new novel in the Cosmere each year, and this time it is The Fires of December, which will be released in the month of December. And the cover art is done by Tran Nguyen. I think it's an absolutely beautiful cover art. Tran Nguyen is an incredible artist, one of my favorite watercolor painters, and also the Backerkit campaign, as you can probably guess, has been fully funded and beyond. And of course, I pledged myself to get a copy of all the Storybook collection and also The Fires of December. I look forward to reading this one. The premise, actually, I just read the premise, and it's actually something that I have always imagined in my delusion, because I sometimes think about what if I could return to my past as a teenager but retain all my memories of the present. And apparently this is something a bit similar to that. And yeah, I look forward to reading this book, and of course with the artwork by Tran Nguyen. I definitely want to read the entirety with the interior illustrations included. But that's it on the coverage of Backerkit campaign. That's the only campaign I wanted to spotlight in my YouTube channel today. Moving on to talking about cover reveals and also new book announcement. Well, the next one, speaking of Brandon Sanderson, he has another book coming out this June. This one is written together with Peter O'Rulian. And yeah, this is Songs of the Dead. The cover art is done by Oliver Barnett, and Saga Press has revealed the end papers and also edges done by Xavier Collett, and I think they're gorgeous. I think the premise of this one sounds quite fascinating, taking place in London, and I wanted to find out whether this will be good or not. I don't think, other than the Skyward series, I don't think I've read anything by Brandon Sanderson that is co-written with someone else. So this will be a first if I end up reading this one rather than the other books. But onward to the next one. This is something exciting. This is Scion by James Islington, the first sci-fi or cyberpunk novel from the author. And James Islington, whether it's the Lycaenis trilogy or the Hierarchy series, he is one of my top favorite authors of all time. And this one is the first cyberpunk novel from the author. This is a short cyberpunk novel. I have read the book. It's only about 200 pages long, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 60 or 70,000 words long. It's very short and it's very quick. Fast-paced and also action-packed. It's more action-oriented than all James Islington's other novels, but the vibes and also the tone of the story, the tone of the setting, it's very reminiscent of Ghost in the Shell, in my opinion. Anyway, I will post a review about this really soon. Just do not expect this to have a super huge and sprawling world building like the Lycaenis trilogy or the Hierarchy series. It is not that kind of novel. It is something that James actually wrote in the middle of his downtime, and it became a short novel. But this book, with the spray edges and also illustrated end papers by Yuhei Horisota, it will be out in September 2026, so about 6 months from now. But speaking of Saga Press and sci-fi, Scion or Scion is of course published by Saga Press as well. The next one is Celios Gate by Maurice Africh. So this book, I believe, will blend science fiction and fantasy. This is about sky pirates of Imperia. Now, this was originally self-published with a cover art by Felix Ortiz, and now it has received a new cover art rendition by Raphael Lacoste, the legendary, one of the legendary sci-fi artists. And I love the new cover art. Now, I haven't read the book yet. I heard a lot of great things about it. I believe Nicholas Eames, the author of the Band series, actually gave this one some high praises, and I look forward to reading this one. This book, the new traditionally published edition of Cello's Gate, will be published in November 2026. And I want to say congratulations to Maurice Africh for the traditional published deal. Onward to the next one, still being published in the month of November. This is about Son of the Serpent. By Shauna Lawless. So Shauna Lawless is an incredibly productive author. Every year, she will release one novella and also one novel. And this is the second novel in the second era of Gael's Song series. I haven't even read anything by Shauna Lawless yet, but many people have told me that this one, anything by her, is incredibly underrated and under the radar, and I hope I can get around to this one sooner than I hope. I own all of her books, and I really need to read this Irish-inspired historical epic fantasy. And yeah, next we have a re-release of an omnibus edition. So this is for the Nightmareland Chronicles by Daniel Barnett. And this one, it will be receiving a new hardcover edition containing all the 6 titles in the first Nightmareland Chronicles into one hardcover. So this will be like 800 or 900 pages long. And then the new cover art is beautiful. It is done by Leslie Q. And yeah, I look forward to reading this for the first time. I know that Andrew Wizardly reads and also Leslie have recommended this series many times to me in the past, and I can't believe I still haven't read this one yet. I wanted to read this last October, but circumstance doesn't allow me to do that. Hopefully I can fix that this year. Next, we have The Lord of the Empty Mirrors by Michael R. Fletcher. So this is the 4th and the final title in the Obsidian Path series, the grimdark fantasy Obsidian Path series. I have read Blackstone Heart. I consider that one of Michael R. Fletcher's best book to date, and I can't believe I haven't read any of the series past that book. So I really need to fix that as well. Obviously, I'm behind on so many books and series now, but this one has a new cover art by Thomas Reiger, and the book will be coming out in April. So yeah, not long from now, next month. But speaking of something sooner, well, we have Champion of the Fallen by M.L. Spencer. And yeah, this is the sequel to Dragon Mage, a book I absolutely loved I think I read Dragon Mage in 2020. It's either 2020 or 2021, but it has been several years since I read that book, and this was before all the current resurgence of Dragon Rider epic fantasy. We had Dragon Mage, and it was originally a standalone novel, and I kept pitching that as a one-off standalone novel during my review of Dragon Mage, but because of the demand from the fans, it became a trilogy. And I think M.L. Spencer has mentioned several times the difficulty of writing the sequel, and now this book is finally coming out at the end of the month of March. So yeah, if you are a fan of Dragon Mage, make sure to pick this one up. If you haven't read Dragon Mage, well, do it, especially if you love Dragon Rider epic fantasy. And finally, the last cover reveal and also book announcement I want to spotlight. This is about A Trade of Blood by Robert Jackson Bennett. So this is the 3rd title in the Shadow of the Leviathan series, the Anna and Din murder mystery epic fantasy. And yeah, I absolutely love the Tainted Cup novel, but I have read and also love so many books by Robert Jackson Bennett, whether it's the Divine Series trilogy or the Founders trilogy and also the Tainted Cup. I just love them all. I think he was criminally underrated, but the release of the Tainted Cup and also the Shadow of the Leviathan has definitely increased his popularity, and I think it's well deserved. I love murder mystery, I love epic fantasy, and I think he managed to blend this so wonderfully in the Tainted Cup, and I heard in A Drop of Corruption as well. And as you can probably tell, the cover art, the US cover art is done by Will Stell, and the UK cover art is done by Tom Roberts. But now let's talk about special editions. Now, speaking of special editions, the first one that I want to spot at, because I just talked about this series, well, it is the Divine Series trilogy, City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, the Inkstone edition. So now, this book, finally, we will be getting a US hardcover edition or a UK hardcover edition. Well, there was a UK hardcover edition, but it's so hard to get now. But now, Inkstone is going to be publishing this one with the cover art of the French cover art edition by Didier Graffet, and it is a beautiful cover. I love Didier Graffet, and the entire trilogy, I believe, will receive the same treatment, and I cannot wait to own a copy of this one. And the next special edition, this is a big one. Before I start talking about the Broken Binding edition, this is for the Curious King edition of Red Rising by Pierce Brown. So yeah, the full details is all out now. There will be 4 tiers, 4 edition, the artist edition, the deluxe edition, and then the lettered edition, and then finally the Roman numeral edition. So this is a big series, and yeah, all books will be signed by Pierce Brown, and also Mark Simonetti provides more than 20 interior illustrations for Red Rising. And yeah, this book will be available to pre-order on the 20th of March. So that's about less than 3 weeks from now. Now, the price is completely different for each tier. The artist edition, in my opinion, is just absolutely an insane bargain. To get $100. This is Curious King, and we're talking about super high-end offset printing here. And then on top of the Smithsonian binding, and then the incredible design, the incredible interior design, and also the more than 20 interior illustrations by Mark Simonetti. Well, to get all of this in $100 is insane. You probably can't get something like this anywhere else. If this was published by other companies, it will be like $200. I bet it will be like $200 or even more. And Curious King managed to do this in $100. Now, for the other editions, they are significantly more expensive, especially the Roman numeral edition, which I definitely cannot afford. It's more than $10,000. But in a detail provided by Curious King themselves, they have mentioned that the cost of producing this Roman numeral edition are insanely high, that if they sold only 9 out of 10 copies, they will be losing money from the Roman numeral edition. So it is an expensive edition to produce and also to purchase. But yeah, let me know what you think about these 4 tiers, and also which one is your favorite. The artist edition is the only one that has the dust jacket from Mark Simonetti. So obviously that kind of became one of my favorites, probably my favorite out of all the 4 tiers. But now let's talk about the Broken Binding edition. First, the Broken Binding Publishing, The Fall by Ryan Cahill. It has been revealed, the North American edition. So I got to work on this one, on the board and also the edges together with Rafael Pina. I work on this very rapidly, and I can't believe that it's revealed already. And yeah, this one featured the colored purple, and the cover art, of course, is done by Tom Roberts again. And yeah, this will come with an acid-free paper and also Smithsonian binding. So if you own a copy of Blood and Fire, you might want to pre-order this one, which I think these features is available only to the first edition. But for the last 3 special edition I want to spotlight, again, all of these are from the Broken Binding. The first one is For the Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. I have been working on this one for quite a while now. It has been several months, together with Maximiliano Moreto and also Rene Eichner, and also together with John Gwynne. So none of these artworks, none of them will go ahead without the approval of John Gwynne himself. And John Gwynne have approved everything that we have done so far with a lot of hearts and a lot of great praises, and I'm really happy with that. I believe this is for the monthly subscription from the month of April until the month of July for the fantasy subscription, and I think based on the reveal and also the number of comments, likes, and all that, this is the biggest one so far. More than 800 comments. That's incredible, absolutely incredible, and I'm thrilled with the result. Plus, this will also come with the fold-out new map of the Banished Lands by Francesca Beralt, which I consider to be the best cartographer in the epic fantasy and sci-fi genre. Moving on to the next one, we have Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. And this is getting a Broken Binding edition as well. All the illustrations here, I work on them together with Devon Gray. And I think Devon Gray did an outstanding job on all the illustrations here. The reception to this one has been incredibly positive as well, and I'm glad. I've been looking at these illustrations for so many times that I couldn't tell anymore whether they're still incredible or not. But it seems like the reception, most of them are very positive, and I'm very thrilled about that. I read this book several years ago. I think I gave this one a 3.5 or 4 stars. I can't remember, but it has been a while. And yeah, it is very dark. It is a very dark medieval horror fantasy, and if you like that one with a lot of dream sequence, consider reading Between Two Fires. And finally, the last special edition I want to spotlight today, and also the last topic of today's video, this is about the Shattered Sea trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Only the cover art has been revealed so far, and the cover art is done by Mikhail Burgoyne. I had such a blast working on the cover art of this series, the cover art and also the end papers of this series. And yeah, I work on them together with Mikhail Burgoyne. I have always wanted to try a direction on this kind of cover art with a lot of statues, and I think it's just fitting to the Shattered Sea trilogy, considering just how many war actually occurred in the entire trilogy. And yeah, this is considered to be Joe Abercrombie's YA series, but I think it doesn't fit into the genre, or maybe it doesn't fit into the age range. It's still pretty brutal and grim at times. Not as much as the First Law series, of course, but it's still a dark fantasy. But yeah, I enjoyed reading the trilogy, and I hope many of you will pick up the Shattered Sea trilogy as well. There will be more details about the sales for this one really soon. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. That's all the news that I wanted to spotlight in today's video of SFF Spotlight. And yeah, again, back to what I said in the beginning of this video. Let me know your thoughts about me moving SFF Spotlight to TikTok, or maybe posting on both accounts. I still don't know what I will do moving forward. Again, as I always say, it all depends on demands. If there are many views for SFF Spotlight, then I will keep posting this one. If not, then, well, I think I will be closing SFF Spotlight soon, because, as I said, it just demands a lot. It demands a lot out of me in terms of time and also in terms of hard work. And because of the circumstance in my life right now, it's really difficult to spend some time producing SFF Spotlight. But yeah, don't want to be a downer here. Let me know your thoughts about the news that I spotlighted in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.